The PKF Parvate partnership has evolved very quickly. I think the last 3 months has seen, 2 to 3 years of really hard work start to come to fruition. We started here in Perth with the local firm here, with Darren Shillington and Peter Sinclair particularly taking an interest in us when perhaps it was outside of their current remit, but they took a chance with us and got us in for some training and various other things with the PKF Perth crowd. They introduced them to the rest of the network, which is great. Sydney, Melbourne, and now we're across, PKF Australia as the sustainability partner. So the last probably 3 months or so has really seen a formalisation of that 2 to 3 years of really hard work. We've traipsed all over the country. We've gone and seen partners. We've gone and seen a number of staff members. And I guess the last 3 months have just seen, one, client interactions have increased, exponentially, but also internally partner and manager and staff sort of interactions have increased to a point where we feel really part of the team now. And we're starting to get some great wins as well. So it's been a wonderful 3 months. It's gone very quick, and I expect the next 3 months to go just as quick. I think we've seen ESG and sustainability really find its place in the market. I think, for the last 5-6 years that we've been involved, there's not been a really obvious framework to report against. There's been quite different standards, whether you're in Europe or the US or here in Australia. And what we've seen over the last 3 months here in Australia is that the climate reporting regulations have come in, they've been accepted. Group 1 reporters are now starting to report as of June 30. And what we're seeing is a formalisation of the expectations for companies and for clients. And that's provided a lot of, assurance and comfort that we have an obvious sort of target to achieve instead of it being a bit more subjective and really all over the place as it has been for the last few years. So the last 3 months, I'd say, has just been a formalisation of expectations and just a real buy-in that this is legislation now, but it's also good business practice. I think a lot of the lessons we've learned is around having specialists for specialist positions. I think what we've seen with ESG and sustainability, there's been a lot of general advice and professionals with a general knowledge. And as the market's evolved and the expectations have evolved, we really need specialist technical competency, strategic competency. And what we find now with PKF Parvate, given we have such a big depth of professionals in the PKF network, our job's really to find those specialists and those really high performers that can complement the fantastic staff that PKF already have. So like a sporting team, you can't just be average, you can't just be okay. We need really elite high performers in specialist subjects. And using that knowledge from a previous life and a previous industry is how we're trying to build this team at PKF Parvate with the most high quality specialists we can, complement with some fantastic professionals in the accounting and finance profession.